AJ Styles should face Finn Balor for the NXT Championship at WrestleMania 37. What is up, guys? It's me, the ALE Double X Prince. And going back to my Royal Rumble review, I mentioned, you know, that it was weird to know that Edge was going to win the Royal Rumble. I was happy for Edge, don't get me wrong. But I was also a little bit confused because it's like, because I was, in my mind, I thought we were going to get Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt. Uh, Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan, Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus, and Edge was gonna face AJ Styles. A brand new match. Maybe you have Edge come in and then uh, AJ eliminates him, and then we do Edge and Styles. That would have been an amazing dream match and a good match to have at WrestleMania. But we're not gonna do that. Okay, what are we gonna do? We're gonna do Edge versus either Drew McIntyre or Roman Reigns. People as are claiming that's gonna be Roman Reigns, myself included. After watching that Raw promo, it really made you question, like, oh shit, maybe he will face Drew McIntyre. But AJ Styles has kind of been kind of like out of nowhere, like just all over the place. They really don't know necessarily what to do with him. They kind of have him, but they know that he is one of the more top tier stars. Let's look back at what AJ Styles has done ever since he fought The Undertaker in the Boneyard match. He was defending Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows after them getting fired, claiming that Paul Heyman is the reason for their firing. That wasn't the case, but AJ Styles returns that Money in a Bank. He's part of that cinematic ladder match, which is very divisive. He's part of the IC Championship tournament because Sami Zayn had to vacate the belt. He becomes the IC champion, believe it or not, beating a beating Daniel Bryan in one of the best TV matches in a while. Then we have a solid run with him as the IC champion, fighting guys like Drew Gulak, Matt Riddle, Grand Metalik. Yeah, not the strongest talent, but he made it work. And then he lost it to Jeff Hardy, which was a great moment for Jeff Hardy, but not necessarily a great moment for AJ Styles. Then at Clash of Champions, he faces Jeff Hardy again, but Sami Zayn returns, who claims to still be the IC champion. So we do a three-way ladder match, which stole the show at Clash of Champions. Then the draft happens. He goes to Raw. Um, kind of becomes like one of the heel leaders, typical like stereotypical like heel leader, but he really was kind of going directionless. But then they gave him a shot at the WWE Championship, and I said to myself, that makes sense. Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles should have been a televised program. It was a great program. Drew McIntyre stood strong, and then AJ Styles was kind of going nowhere. It would have made sense for him to go after Edge, but now from the looks of it, it looks like he's got nothing to do. Like he fought Ricochet in a Royal Rumble qualifying match, which made no sense because both men enter the Royal Rumble regardless. We had it Styles just kind of just facing whoever it was available to face. And maybe there's no one left for him to face on Raw. I can't think of anybody he could face. Everybody is pretty much locked in for what they're gonna do. Bobby Lashley is probably gonna fight Keith Lee for the United States Championship. Braun Strowman is pretty like dull. Like I don't see the hype for Braun Strowman. He's just kind of boring now, and I don't want to see him fight AJ Styles. Ricochet's is pretty generic. Mustafa Ali is dealing with the New Day. So who is he gonna face? Maybe he could go on and face someone from SmackDown, but it will be make no sense unless I do an interpromotional match. The closest thing I could think of is Daniel Bryan and AJ, but I feel like we've seen that match too many times, and they don't necessarily need a Mania match. And based on how SmackDown ended with that big cluster of everybody just fighting everybody, it would make sense to do Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles, and that could probably be the farewell to Daniel Bryan. But rumor has it that AJ Styles may not sign to the WWE again. So who could be a perfect opponent for him? Well, why don't we go back to the club? We should do Finn Balor versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania 37. Why? Here's why. Anyone got that reference? Um, so Finn Balor has honestly been the highlight of NXT all of 2020. As bad as a year, we got Finn Balor and Io Shirai have been carrying the brand. They themselves should get awarded. Like Finn Balor, whenever they needed something, they had him do it. Whenever they needed someone to promote the UK division, boom, Finn Balor. Whenever someone needed to replace Karrion Kross as the NXT champion, boom, you got it. Whenever whatever you needed, Finn Balor was your guy to go to, and it showed that in NXT he is legitimately a great top talent. Everybody who watches NXT, anyone who still watches NXT, knows that Finn Balor is a top level star. But not the normal audience knows this. And what better way than to properly do Finn Balor and AJ Styles for the NXT Championship? If last year we had Charlotte Flair, the Royal Rumble winner, go up against NXT Women's Champion Rhea Ripley, then clearly they have a way of caring about the NXT roster. And what better way to bring it back than at the grand stage of them all, giving us a match that we know is going to be good due to their TLC 2017 match, and we give the fans a legit reason to care because now you can have the story of how AJ Styles is directionless. Finn Balor comes back. He wants to form an alliance with AJ in NXT, help out the brand, and maybe even help out with his current feud with Pete Dunne, Danny Burch, and Oni Lorcan. And AJ Styles like, no, or you could do the typical. I believe we're having a takeover in February. Why don't we do Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne in the main event? Finn Balor wins, and then it ends with AJ Styles coming in and attacking Finn Balor. It's going to be a big surprise. Like, oh shit, AJ Styles is in NXT, and then he holds the NXT championship. And it was like, oh, we're going to get AJ and Finn at the next takeover. No, we're getting it at WrestleMania 37. He wants to show the world that he is not a failure, and the best way to do it is to take on someone who he has yet to beat. And Finn Balor needs to prove himself that he does not need the demon to face to beat AJ Styles. That is one of the best things about Finn Balor recently is that they killed off the demon. The demon has been very relevant. It's I believe the last time we saw him was crazy enough an IC title match with um Andrade at Super Showdown. The night we had Taker and Goldberg. That's the last time I remember I saw the Demon. But now that Finn Balor is this brand new character, we could have him come out. He says, "I never thought I would come back to the main roster. I never thought I'd come back to Raw and SmackDown, but." To prove that I am the best and to make sure that NXT is at the top, we I will beat you, AJ Styles. Me and all of these people, obviously the crowd, or in this case the audience, the screens. He talks about that the Balor Club will never die. Um, and it's a perfect story, and it'll be a great way to. It's gonna help out AJ Styles. It's gonna help Finn Balor, and more importantly, it's gonna help out NXT because believe it or not, NXT is gonna leave the USA Network, go to Peacock, and become a stable there. But I'm pretty sure Peacock wants NXT to be relevant as possible. Otherwise, they'll just cancel it. And what better way than to have AJ Styles win at WrestleMania the NXT Championship? Or you could do that story of how Finn Balor did not need the demon to face AJ Styles. And now Finn Balor beats AJ Styles at WrestleMania clean without the demon, none of that shenanigans. They do the too sweet once again. AJ could do something else or retire. I hear he wants to leave and take some time off to take care of his family, which is very respectful. I respect that wholeheartedly. And then, but now we have Finn Balor, the NXT champion at WrestleMania. It's like, holy crap, who is this guy? And now people are invested in NXT yet again. That is the best thing I could think of that we could do. I can't think of anything else that either of these guys could do in WrestleMania season. I heard they want to do Karrion Cross versus Finn Balor. I'm gonna be real. I do not like Karrion Cross, and some people are just not meant for the WWE. This guy, like, if we kept him as Killer Cross in TNA or Impact or what have you, this guy is great. But yeah, I don't see the big hype on this guy. I'm sorry. I just see the problem with his character is that a lot of characters are so similar to him, like this demonic evil guy, big strong man. We've People have even called him the next Brock Lesnar. People have called him the next Undertaker. People have called him the next Fiend. Why doesn't he just be the one and only Karrion Cross or Killer Cross? I honestly, that's another thing. I hate the name Karrion Cross. Killer Cross sounds more badass, but it's the WWE. You can't do the or they got copyrighted the name. I don't know what the deal is, but I would rather much see NXT get helped out by a guy like AJ Styles, and and you basically do the unthinkable. It was gonna be like, honestly, it would be honestly one of the best matches on the show, considering WrestleMania is now 2 nights. Hopefully, it'll stick that way for now on. But now you have an NXT champion that people are invested in, and you have a challenger that could get some real heel heat. So, what better way to do it? Finn Balor and AJ Styles, the rematch. It's it's been 4 years since we saw these guys fight, I believe. Yeah, 2017. Let's do it again with a story, with a championship, with legit stakes. It's gonna be awesome. Let's go for it. What do you guys think? It's me, the ALE Double X Prince. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And until then, I'm out.